amma ba'd. We heard about how Musa alayhi salam approached his teacher and how the teacher responded by laying down some very strict conditions. Now, whenever these types of conditions are laid down, it's not because it's not for the sake of disturbing the student or putting unnecessary restrictions on them. It's always to achieve something very important. Let's move away from that scenario. Let's think of another scenario where there are two friends. And one friend says, I'm always going to talk to you however I feel like it. If I feel like making fun of you, I'm going to make fun of you. If I feel like swearing at you, I'm going to swear at you. And if you have something that I like, I'm going to take it without asking. And whenever it's time to do some kind of activity, I'm going to be the one who always decides. The other friend is going to say, what are you talking about? That's not how friendship works. You have to respect me. You don't have the right to insult me, make fun of me, or swear at me whenever you feel like it. And no, you don't have the right to take away whatever I have whenever you feel like taking it. And no, you don't always get to decide. So the first guy says, well, what kind of friend are you? Why can't you just accept me the way I am? That's how I like to behave. So the second friend will say, you know what? Maybe that's how you like to behave, but that's not how you treat people, and we can't be friends. Now, in this case, who was right and who was wrong? Was the first person right, or was the second person right? What would you say? Second person. But wasn't he just being strict on his friend? Wasn't he just putting restrictions on him and trying to limit his life? Is that what he was doing? Was he being judgmental about his friend? No. He just wanted to be treated with respect. And that's a basic condition of being friends with anyone. You have to treat them with respect. If you can't treat somebody with respect, you can't be their friend. Let's take another scenario. A person goes to the hospital to visit someone who's sick. And with them, they bring in these speakers that are attached to their iPad. And the speakers are blasting music. And this person walks into the hospital and says, I'm here to see so-and-so who's in such and such room, in such and such ward. The person who's at the reception is going to say, you know what? We'll talk about that later. The first thing is you got to turn this off. We can't let you take that inside. He's like, what? It's my music. I can listen to it however I want. And you're a hospital. Your job is to treat people who are sick. It's none of your business what I'm listening to and how I'm listening to it. So they're going to try to explain to this person that, look, you can't bring in this kind of noise into this environment. People are sick here. People have the right to be at peace. And you're disturbing that environment. And the sick people can't heal, and the doctors and the nurses can't do their work if there's noise coming in, noise being brought in like this. So sorry, we can't allow it. Now he can say to them that, oh, you're just judging me. You just don't like me because of the color of my skin, or because of the kind of music that I'm listening to. He can say that all he wants. But the fact is, he was not being realistic. He was not meeting the basic expectations for doing that thing, which is going to the hospital to visit someone. Everything in life has a bare minimum standard. If you're not fulfilling it, it means you're not ready for that. Somebody comes here to our school with guns and says, you know, I'm a great hunter and I'm a great shooter, and in my free time I like to do target practice. So please don't mind the guns. I'll be safe, I'll be careful. Don't worry, I won't shoot anyone. I don't think any one of us would allow someone like that to be walking around our schoolyard. He said, no, but I know what I'm doing. Why are you interfering with my life? This is my hobby. You say, well, yeah, you know what? That's a nice hobby. outside in the forest when there's some animal to hunt. It's a nice hobby when you're in a shooting range and you're practicing on a target that's created for this. But in the school, there is no place for this. We have to maintain a safe environment. And you're not meeting the basic requirement of safety to be at a school. So these types of rules are not to restrict people, not to make life miserable, but these rules are always to make sure things run smoothly. And to make us understand that whatever setting we're going into, if it's a classroom, there's going to be some basic expectations there. If it's our home, there are going to be some basic expectations there. I don't think anyone's parents would allow them to walk into the house with muddy shoes. It would be a basic expectation. Take your muddy shoes off outside before you come inside. That doesn't mean that the parents hate their kids or they hate their kids' shoes. They just need to keep the house clean because everyone has to live there. So a lot of these rules are there it's not about what you can't do. Rules are not about telling you don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. No. Rules are simply to guide us to what we need to be doing at any given time. So that guy who brought his speakers into the hospital, the idea was not to stop him from coming. The idea was, when you're in a hospital, you need to be quiet and respectful of the environment. And that person, that friend, the second friend who said, no, you can't swear at me and you can't do this, he wasn't trying to be harsh on the other guy. He was just telling him that if you want to be my friend, here are some basic things that you're going to have to do. Otherwise, I can't be your friend. So rules are about guiding us towards what we need to be doing. The problem is, we look at them as stopping us. We look at them as blocks. We look at them as limitations. We look at them as restrictions. And no one likes restrictions. No one likes to be limited. The problem is not with the rule. The problem is the way we're looking at it. We're looking at it as something that's stopping me, instead of looking at it as something that's going to help me do what I need to do there. Whether there means a classroom, or it means the musalla, or it means outside in the schoolyard. For every setting, there is a set of norms and a set of rules, and those rules are just to help us get done what we're there for. So think about this next time someone tells you that you can't do such and such thing, or you must do such and such thing, or your teacher asks you to do something, or in the musalla, something is being said that, you know what, this is how you're supposed to behave. It's not about limiting you. It's about trying to help you understand what needs to be done right now in this place. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the understanding and give us the wisdom to be able to apply rules to our lives in such a way that makes our lives more productive and more pleasing to